Noob versus Nightreign. I still can't believe that fucking audio splicing was somehow favorable. The more you know. Anyway, Elden Ring Nightreign has been officially released, and boy do I have a little bit to say about it, but because someone got on my case in a recent video where I talked about fucking ROM for like 5 minutes, and the first out of that 6 is me talking about a certain Mr. Sparrow, and I'm sorry that had rhymed, let's go ahead and do a 10-minute Prologus about my history with Dark Souls for the fucking 10th time this week. You want to bitch about incoherent bullshit? Play stupid games? Win stupid prizes, bitches. Dark Souls was a video game series that I first played in 2012, and I honestly did not really care for it, and the fact that I explicitly stated this opinion has unfortunately caused me to have a friendship stain with a person that I actually really liked. Even back in 2012, I was quite the opinionated motherfucker. And funny enough, my first exposure to this was actually in Orlando with the part where you have to go through the, what the hell are they called? The Painted World Guardians, and then the boss fight with Sif, the gender-ambiguous anthropomorphic animal, I guess, who fights a sword. I have thought about Sif possibly being in a Soul Calibur game, but then I think of Yoda, and then it's just like, no. So then I decided to actually buy Dark Souls on the Xbox 360, the objectively better platform compared to the PS3, with the only difference between those two versions at least, and remember, this was before the PC version came out, is that the PS3 has the gestures that you can use with the 6-axis, and that the Xbox 360 at least runs a little bit better, and you could move your saves to a flash drive so that you could technically save scum your way for the game, as the game literally does the meme of saving every time you take a step. These people who want to complain about games not letting you save every time you take a step, Dark Souls does exactly that. It's just that the bonfires are your retry points a la Blastomaster 03. Bonfires are not your save points. The whole world and Oyster is your save point. The bonfires are just your retry points. There's a difference. So then I decided to play through Dark Souls a bit, and I wasn't really fond of it, honestly. And like I said, I was very opinionated on it, and of course I was told, you have no idea what you're talking about. And mind you, this was like when I was first playing the game, so obviously a lot of the points I have made back then were obviously not as properly structured by internet standards. So of course this led to some discourse, and then unfortunately as time went on, I essentially lost friendships because of the fact that I do not kiss the ass that is Hidetaka Miyazaki's finest work, that is Dark Souls. And no, I did not have a PlayStation 3 back then, so I was not able to enjoy the likes of Demon Souls, but watching Yahtzee's review of his review on Demon Souls back when he wasn't a total fucking chode, it made me think, wow, people actually like this shit? And there's certainly other video games that were around way before what Elden Ring became today by being this super exceptionally hard video game. But to give Dark Souls some credit, it did come out in 2011, and 2011 was honestly a very good year for games, even if some of them are decreed as the worst games of all time, simply because it wasn't exactly what fans wanted, which sounds really entitled, by the way, but I'm going to digress because this isn't about Saints of the Third. This is about motherfucking Dark Souls. So just to spite the haters, and even really referencing a comment that I got in my latest Doom rant, which I went against the odds because fuck you, I will not play a game if I don't like it. There's a difference between reviewing a game poorly, and then there's just ranting about incoherent bullshit. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. No, there's no fancy losing joke here. I'm actually being serious. There is a reason why I refuse to play something like Elden Ring. Because if I were to do a video right now talking about Elden Ring, which I technically already did, like a bunch, if I were to do a video talking about Elden Ring, yeah, it would be really dumb. Especially after the fact that I were to beat it. Which, why the fuck should I have to? I've already played Elden Ring, and it's called Dark Souls 3, a bunch. They're both pretty much the same fucking game, okay? They are almost the same, really. The only major difference that I've at least seen in Elden Ring is that it's open world, which people hate because, you know, Ubisoft pretty much stained open world games as a whole. It has horseback, which even Shadow of the Colossus had that. And this is a jump button, which even Sekiro already has, but that's just essentially dollar store general fucking whatever family branding bullshit. Tenchu already had that shit. Hell, Sekiro is basically Tenchu, but for people who think that those games are never about souls or whatever. And let's not get into the fact that people actually misconstrued that From Software had a hand in making Tenchu games. No, they didn't. They've only had one game that they actually developed, and that was some shitty puzzle game that you can't even legally acquire anymore. So, better download those emulators, and let's hope you find a download site that doesn't have fucking viruses and trojans and shit, because sure as hell that Microsoft did not allow the game to be part of backwards compatibility. They've had published the games, I believe, ever since Tenchu 3, I forget what it's called specifically. Then it was the Xbox version, I guess. I'm not going to call it a port, it's whatever. They've only published the games. But people want to misconstrue Activision for essentially handling Call of Duty, and yet these fucking hypocrites did the same shit with From Software. They had no hand in Tenchu, okay? No hand in it at all aside from publishing, and that's it. Hell, speaking of Activision, people were pissed off when Activision was publishing Sekiro, and yet that game is still $60, and you fucking piece of shit want to defend that. Oh my god. Activision, bad. They ruined Call of Duty as a whole, even though back in the Atari days, they used to make some of the goated games of all time. But wait a minute, these games are all pixels. What the fuck? This isn't polygons or ray tracing. Get the fuck out of here. Some people actually like that, by the way. So, it's no surprise that people are so biased against graphics that if there's so much as an ounce of pixels over the fucking screen, that they would essentially denounce it because it's not fancy 4K, 120 hertz, 60 plus frames per second, unlimited bullshit. And this isn't some rage bait either, alright? I am genuine in how I feel. You don't have to agree with me. At least have proper constructive criticism if you're gonna be an asshole about it. Because I had people tell me that my videos are rage bait, and that the popular opinion isn't loving the game. I'm like a kid who doesn't want to eat something because it smells bad, or that my points would be a lot more deeper if I actually played the game. But even people who have played the game, especially on the required settings or whatever, have gotten shit for it. Hell, Synthetic Man got a lot of shit for his opinions on Doom. Yeah, Doom, not that one. Doom Eternal, even though he played the game on Nightmare and had takes that people did not like. Or even people like DW Terminator with his very proper reviews of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. And ironically enough, that dude has been on YouTube for a long-ass time, and there have been reviews of that dude that are actually properly formatted, but just because that you don't agree with it means that they're a spoiled child, and all those fucking vouchers from that Under the Mail segment clearly proves that you people will demand and be entitled about the fact that you need to play this game in order to have an opinion on it. It's damned if you do, and damned if you don't. So, as long as I continue to breathe, and I have an ounce and an iota of oxygen in my fucking body, I will not be bowing down to these motherfuckers who demand that I play Elden Ring just to have vindication on playing Elden Ring. I'm not doing it, okay? I refuse, alright? I have played through Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and both versions of Demon Souls. And I'm gonna say this for the fucking infinity and beyond time. I do like the PS5 version of Demon Souls. Is it a perfect remaster? No. It has faults. But just from a gameplay aesthetic, it's fine. You people are so whiny and entitled that visual infidelity is all it takes for you people to act all butthurt about the game. This isn't like how Lollipop Chainsaw was handled, or how the Assassin's Creed trilogy was handled when that got a remaster or whatever. Yes, I know that Blue Point is questionable with their aesthetic choices, but from a pure gameplay stance, it's fine. Like how, what is it, Macman Muscles of Resident Evil 3 Remake says, it's fine. And if you can't handle visual infidelity but want to eat up all the slop that is From Software, that's on you. With that shitty Prologus out of the way, let's actually talk about Elden Ring Nightreign. That one is for you, Ali Senpai, and if you want to get mad at me for that 10-minute Prologus, blame him. Elden Ring Nightreign is essentially taking ideas from the Battle Royale genre, and to an extent, the Extraction Royale, as I've seen with one of my good friends that's been playing Off the Grid quite a bit. You should check him out if you want. Although there is a video that I may or may not upload talking about one of his arguments with the pay-to-win ordeal, because it's pretty bad. When I first seen Elden Ring Nightreign, I honestly thought it was a joke. And my theory, yes, game theory from prior, that it was made solely to cash in on the Battle Royale genre as a whole. And no, I don't care if it's its own thing, whatever. There are so many people on Reddit or even YouTube who will justify this game's existence solely because it has a brand that so happens to be part of From Software. If this was any other fucking company, you would disown it. And don't you dare fucking lie to me in the comments, because there have been other games that have tried this exact same shit. Wolfenstein 2 to Wolfenstein Youngblood. A first-person shooter game that had a decent what-if scenario, at least that's what I think of it. And then a sequel that tries to add in so many cutscenes and having woke shit, only for Wolfenstein Youngblood, has since turned the game into carbon copy Borderlands with two chicks who try so hard to be like Duke Nukem that's not even funny. Yes, I know the writing sucks ass, but mud level design keeps it engaging, and it still has decent first-person shooting gameplay, even if it is taking the same aesthetic as what Borderlands did, or even further back, Diablo. It ain't that fucking deep, but people will sure eat up the fact that you're essentially playing an even more dumbed-down version of Elden Ring. All the images I've seen, and even watching a little bit of Synthetic Man playing the game, and yes, I do like his reviews and shit, these fucking people who will justify this game's existence because it's Elden Ring, even though it takes a lot of ideas from Battle Royale. So, what exactly does this game have, okay? You have the gliding shit that a lot of games have as of late, the dropping off from a certain altitude, whatever, you know, like with the battle bus from Fortnite, if that's what it's even called, or the giant planes in PUBG, or the fucking, I'm just gonna be an asshole, the Avenger from Off the Grid. It's probably not even called that, but I don't know the fucking real name of it. I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking military obsessed freak. Elden Ring Nightreign has that too. What does Elden Ring Nightreign also have? You have emphasis on co-op, which is hilarious to me, because a lot of these elitist and masochist players who swear that you're not playing Dark Souls if you're playing the game in co-op, even if you're playing offline and using the NPC summons, this game is heavily focused on co-op, which is not only funny to me, but it's also hilarious that this game is doing the exact same thing that King Benji has ranted about multiple times, which I feel is completely vindicated, because the game only offers solos and trios. You can't do duos, and the levels are essentially mini congregations of prior Elden Ring assets. I would not be surprised if these areas are the same pieces or whatever compared to what Elden Ring had before. It's like a bite-sized version of what you get in a mobile game, like The Escapist, a game that's actually good, the second game anyway. But then you get the mobile game, and it's just like a really shitty version of the game. That's what Elden Ring Nightreign feels like to me. It feels like a mobile game spin-off made for devices that can't even handle the complexity that is Elden Ring on the fucking Android and Apple devices. We get a half-assed Battle Royale cooperative extraction looting game or whatever, because people just really need that cooperative fix. It's insane to me that these people defend this when there have been other games that try to do their own little quirky thing and then get mad that they should have just stuck to the winning formula. Or that people actually think that, well, we don't want another Elden Ring 2, and yet, what the fuck do you piece of shit want? A Bloodborne 2? That would require a lot of work, like with Elden Ring 2. But yet, you think that this SLOP... Oh my god, I said the S word. Oh, noes! SLOP is a universal term for a reason. Fucking get over it. What else does Elden Ring Nightreign have? Okay, you have the rarity shit, like with a lot of games nowadays. You have passive effects. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like roguelike elements or whatever, or even if the leveling up system is much more simplified compared to that of other games, and yet these same people go, well, this game can't have a respect system because you have to live with the choices you make in video games. Life does not have a reset button. Yeah, but this show does. I love that button. You could just actually play the real Elden Ring and get a much more satisfactory product than whatever the fuck this is. I've said this in my theory video, and I'm going to keep it condensed because I don't want to just copy and paste it over again because people just probably be mad at me because I'm the one that says it, but then if someone else says it, they're just objectively correct, which is not only mentally retarded, but this flame retardation is just got to go. The only reason that Elden Ring Nightreign exists is because, number one, Bandai Namco needs a quick buck. Number two, Battle Royale is like flaming hot popular right now. Even something like Off the Grid, which, yes, it has ideas in there that are interesting, and essentially having an objective-based version of the Battle Royale, which instead of just standard-ass Battle Royale, you have Extraction Royale, which, at the end of the day, it's still a Battle Royale. I don't like Battle Royale for a reason. I don't like this Hunger Games, Lord of the Flies shit, where it's every man for themselves. I have stated time and time again, there are only two instances of last man standing in games that I will accept. Lives in a first-person shooter game mode where you can only spawn after a set number of times. And in racing games where every lap, the person in last place gets eliminated. That's it. I do not like this hardcore shit. I know people are like, oh, well, Fortnite is the most casual shit ever. Well, guess what, you dumb fucks? Those games can end as quickly as they start, and they have a lot of random number-generated bullshit that I don't care for. Yes, I know games like Apex have a unique gunplay system with heroes that have abilities that can really make the tides of battle change. And yes, I know games like Fortnite is easy and accessible because it has them cartoony graphics and cosmetics that make you want to pay money just so you can have the privilege of owning a license to run around as your favorite character from a TV show you probably never watched since its fucking inception. Looking at you, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Or even games like Off the Grid, which has a lot of cool ideas, and even it being compared to something like Ghost Recon Future Soldier, or more accessible, Ghost Recon Wildlands, but I still don't care for that shit as a whole. There is a reason, and I've said time and time again as to why I don't care for Battle Royale. And even though Elden Ring Nightreign is not a fucking Battle Royale, it is still a really half-assed game with ideas blatantly taken from Battle Royale as a whole. The fucking Circle of Death? Check. Rarity items? Check. Simplified gameplay compared to literally any other genre of game in existence? Check. Reuse assets? Do I need to go on about how Elden Ring has fucking Nameless King and the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1? Because I know for a fact that people like legitimately cream themselves. But whatever. It's fan service, so you'll eat it up. But I distinctively remember that in Dark Souls 2, it was slammed on for having too much fan service, and it's hated on because it's not Dark Souls 1. But then when Dark Souls 3 came around, yeah, the rest is fucking history. These people will defend this game and call it perfect and indefensible when you damn well know it's a fucking cash grab. When Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree was announced for Game of the Year, you fucking people got really pissed off and said that it couldn't be Game of the Year, but will act as if it was. So guess what Elden Ring Nightreign is? It's not a standalone expansion to Elden Ring. It's sure as shit not DLC for Elden Ring again. It's its own spin-off SLOP. So if it gets nominated for Game of the Year again, yeah, I think we know what's going to happen. The only other topic I have stored is whenever the Gay Awards is coming on, which, ironically enough, is during Pride Month, so that should be fun. If there's nothing of interest, don't expect anything interesting, but chances are there's going to be something in there that might be talked about. I'm going to be loud and wrong for as long as I want. If you're going to cancel over petty bullshit, you sure as shit got a lot of people to start canceling, because I've seen people with less subscribers, less view counts, who had trash opinions, even on the polar opposite side of the fucking spectrum. You sure as shit have people who said way worse, with way better prerequisites to shit on the game, regardless of the fact, but you dumbasses will mass dislike the video anyway. Fuck you, and never come back. To the rest of you, I hope this was at least serviceable, and well, you might want to stick around, because I've got a lot of topics I'd like to talk about, hopefully, and maybe some that aren't relevant to now. Now, that being said, I'm going to go do literally anything else besides playing SLOP. I'm going to go for sloppy seconds.